Breaking Bad, Gustavo Fring. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Gustavo, Gus Fring, is one of the most enigmatic and chilling antagonists in modern television. Portrayed masterfully by Giancarlo Esposito across Breaking Bad and its prequel, Better Call Saul. In Breaking Bad, Gus is introduced as the polite, unassuming proprietor of Los Polos Hermanos fast food chain, who secretly runs a vast methamphetamine empire in Albuquerque, New Mexico. His character arc reveals layers of calculated ruthlessness, making him a formidable foil to protagonists like Walter White and Jesse Pinkman. In Better Call Saul, we delve deeper into his backstory, witnessing the origins of his criminal ascent and his vendetta against the Salamanca cartel family. This prequel humanizes him slightly through flashbacks, showing his partnership with Max Arseniga, but ultimately reinforces his transformation into a cold, vengeful operator. I'm going to look at the psychological breakdown of Gus Fring, particularly with a consideration of narcissism and psychopathy. Do bear in mind that we're dealing with fictional characters who have been brilliantly written, but are created for the purposes of drama, story development, plot twists, character arcs, and therefore there will be aspects of what occurs which may not sit fully with the ultimate analysis of what they might be. In other words, you might find some outliers. But the whole point is to look at the behaviours to reach an overall determination. Fring's psyche is a blend of meticulous control, hidden rage, and strategic manipulation, making him a compelling case study. Gus Fring exhibits grandiosity. This is evident in his construction of a hidden methamphetamine superlab beneath an industrial laundromat in Breaking Bad Seasons 3 and 4, and detailed in Better Call Seasons 4 through till 6. This multi-million-dollar facility, equipped with state-of-the-art chemistry equipment, represents his fantasy of unlimited success and control over the drug trade. In Something Unforgivable, Gus oversees the lab's secretive construction, importing German engineers and micromanaging every detail, not only reflecting a significant need for control, but also his belief in his exceptional ability to outmaneuver the cartel. This isn't mere business. It's a monument to his brilliance, as he tells Walter in Mandala. I hide in plain sight, same as you. His association with high-status figures like cartel leaders Don Eladio and Juan Bolsa further underscores his special status. In a flashback from Better Call Saul, Gus's partnership with Max reveals his narcissistic investment in developing potential. He rescues Max from poverty, educates him, and builds Los Polos Hermanos together. But this mentorship is laced with control. Gus positions himself as the saviour, feeding his grandiose self-worth. Max's murder by Hector Salamanca in 1989 shatters this, fueling a wounding that is part of the drive for revenge that Gus Fring has. Gus craves admiration through his public image. As a false philanthropist, he sponsors DEA events and community drives, as seen in Breaking Bad, where, in the episode Albuquerque, he hosts a fundraiser. This is a clear facade, which enables him to draw fuel. It allows him to assert control over the community without revealing his true self. His entitlement shines in interactions where he expects unwavering loyalty. In the episode JMM, he demands Mike Ehrmantraut's allegiance, offering him a role in his empire, with the implication that refusal is foolish. Gus believes his vision entitles him to the loyalty and service of others. Exploitation is central to the existence of Gus Fring. He manipulates employees like Lyle in Better Call Saul, using charm to ensure loyalty while exposing them to danger. In Breaking Bad, Box Cutter, he exploits Victor's loyalty by killing him brutally to intimidate Walter and Jesse through intimidatory triangulation, exhibiting a complete absence of emotional empathy for a long-time associate. This act, slitting Victor's throat with a box cutter while in a hazmat suit to avoid blood spatter, highlights his callous disregard, treating people as disposable objects. The absence of emotional empathy is stark in his treatment of rivals. In Salud, Gus poisons the entire cartel leadership, including Don Eladio, in a meticulously planned revenge for Max's death. He watches them die without remorse, vomiting the poison himself in a controlled manner, folding his jacket neatly first. This scene reveals his narcissistic envy. Gus resents the cartel's power and its threat to his own need for control, and believes he needs that power more than they do. In the Better Call episode Fun and Games, Gus's interaction with Hector post-stroke shows haughty arrogance. He taunts the paralyzed man, deriving satisfaction from his superiority. His envy is implicit in his systematic dismantling of the Salamanca family, killing Hector's nephews and grandson Joaquin, as revenge amplifies his sense of entitlement. Gus's arrogance is subtle, but pervasive. In Breaking Bad episode Face Off, his overconfidence leads to his demise. He visits Hector in a nursing home to gloat, underestimating the bomb setup. This hubris stems from his narcissistic belief in his invincibility. Envy drives his actions. He envies the cartel's established power, building his empire in order to eclipse them. It is clear that he has an absolute iron need for control. He exhibits no emotional empathy in his dealings, both in terms of the creation of a drug empire and the removal of anybody who gets in his way. He exhibits a need for fuel as a consequence of the way that he needs a response from people, particularly in relation to his philanthropy. He exhibits grandiosity with regard to his empire building, and he conceives himself as invincible. He is haughty and dismissive, a master manipulator who calculates and plans, thinking ahead as to the impacts of his actions. He shows many aspects of the narcissistic dynamic, and clearly is a narcissist. But what about the issue of psychopathy? It certainly captures the core traits of superficial charm, a lack of remorse, manipulativeness, and criminal versatility. He is, in effect, a classic psychopath as a consequence of his calm violence. You never really hear him raise his voice. He doesn't show the rage, for example, that is exhibited by a contrasting comparison with Tuco Salamanca. He exhibits emotional shallowness. Fring's charm is a tool for deception. As Los Polos Hermanos manager, he greets customers warmly, as in the Breaking Bad episode Mandala, where he serves Walter politely while clinically assessing him. It's this veneer that hides his menace. In Better Call Saul, Witness, he charms employees during a cartel threat, apologizing and compensating them generously to maintain loyalty, but it is simply a pseudo-social manipulative trait. This allows him to blend in, hiding in plain sight. It makes him seem like he's a caring employer when he's anything but. His grandiosity is psychopathic in its criminal application. He manipulates everyone. In Breaking Bad, Problem Dog, he convinces Jesse to cook meth by appealing to his ego, saying, "You can do this." In Better Call Saul, Bagman, he orchestrates a $7 million bailout for Jimmy McGill, using it to test loyalties and advance his war against the Salamancas. Fring shows no remorse for violence. The killing of Victor in Box Cutter is iconic. He methodically suits up, executes the murder, and then instructs Walter and Jesse to get back to work, his face impassive, demonstrating the ice cold that runs through his veins. This demonstrates a shallow effect, which even extends to children. In Breaking Bad, Dead Freight, his prior use of child labourer Tomas Cantillo, whom he has killed to manipulate Jesse in half measures, demonstrates callousness. He orders the boy's murder without hesitation, in the same way as if he was ordering a burger at McDonald's. Not that he would necessarily eat there. In Better Call Saul, his childhood story to Hector in Lantern reveals the early psychopathic traits. As a boy, he trapped a coyote that ate his fruit, torturing it slowly instead of killing it quickly, savouring the revenge. This anecdote, symbolising his treatment of Hector, suggests juvenile behavioural problems. Gus does defy the typical psychopathic impulsivity, which, of course, is not found with every single psychopath. He's highly controlled. He demonstrates that when there is a threat to control, he engages in obsessive cleaning, as seen in the Better Call episode Bad Choice Road, where he scrubs his bathtub meticulously after a testing day. However, rare lapses do occur. In Rock and Hard Place, confronting Lalo Salamanca in a superlab, Gus fires his gun repeatedly after emptying it, showing a brief loss of control, a rare crack in the otherwise icy veneer. Fring's crimes span drug distribution, money laundering, murder and extortion. He builds his empire parasitically, using legitimate businesses as fronts. In Breaking Bad, Hermanos, his backstory hints at Chilean military ties under Pinochet, suggesting early criminality. Hector calls him Generalissimo. His versatility includes poisoning and bombings, where he attempts to kill Hector multiple times. Fring's emotions are shallow, except for Max-related fury. After Max's death, flashback in Hermanos, he screams in anguish, but this trauma hardens him. In effect, this is more a manifestation of the fact that it is a massive threat to his control as opposed to actually caring or having any emotional empathy. He never accepts responsibility, though, blame shifting to the cartel entirely. He exhibits sadistic pleasure without guilt. In Breaking Bad Crawl Space, he taunts Hector. The Salamanca name dies with you. It's clear that Gus Fring meets criteria for being both narcissist and psychopath, that he operates with a need for control and the receipt of fuel, whilst exhibiting that cold detachment associated with his psychopathy. He shows charm and ambition. He's a ruthless dominator. He is isolated. He has no family. He aborted a brief wine-tasting flirtation in Fun and Games as a consequence of his mistrust. He has the psychopathic detachment. His empire building satisfied his narcissistic needs. His deceptive altruism masks societal destruction through drugs. Fring embodies a fusion of narcissist and psychopath. His behaviours meticulously illustrated across both of the series, from grandiose empire building and manipulative charm to remorseless murders like Victor's and the cartel's poisoning. In effect, one might describe Fring's psyche as a study in controlled evil. His narcissism manifests in entitlement and exploitation, his psychopathy in callous detachment and versatility. He is a hybrid, making him television's most calculated villain. His demise in Face Off, half his face blown off, adjusting his tie before collapsing, symbolises the facade's collapse, a poetic end to his dual nature. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.